Hello, everyone. It's episode 66 of the General Damage Podcast.
What's up, guys?
How's it going?
Sounds like for Nick, it is going.
It really is going. Like, I was getting ready to text you both. I didn't say this in the when we were getting ready, but I was really ready to text you guys both and say, just do it at me, because I'm fucking fried, and it's all because of the bullshit. There's bullshit at work, and it's one of those things where it's like family. There's going to be a family gathering in a week, not because of 4th of July, but something else. And I know I'm going to get asked the questions, how's work going? And I'm going to be honest and say, it's bullshit, I fucking hate it. And I will get the standard response of, don't swear, we're at a 1-year-old's party.
Oh my god.
And the other thing I'll get is, well, that's work. You have to kind of go through it. No, you don't. No, you don't fucking have to go through it. Not for the amount I get paid, and the amount I get paid is peanuts. Peanuts across the nation, but in the Bay Area, it's
it is no amount to actually survive and live on.
100,000 is considered in the Bay Area. That's considered like not poverty, but low income.
I think I saw an article that for you to live in San Jose, or sorry, in California comfortably, the hourly wage you would need to make is, I think, like $23 an hour.
I believe it.
It's ridiculous.
So before we go on with more economics, we might want to do an intro.
Oh
no! Fuck you, Shane.
Okay, I'm Nick.
I will, by the way.
I'm Nick. The guy speaking, wanting to do the intro is Shane, and the other deep voice guy is Will.
Yeah, hi-oh.
Yeah. Sorry, we didn't do an intro. I'm in a mood.
I mean, that's a thing, but consistency. Some level of consistency. I mean, more consistent than your work, hopefully.
Yeah, I would hope. But, we're also 66 episodes pretty decent. I call that consistency. We cannot introduce ourselves at least one episode, or forget because someone's pissed off. Like me.
A good measure of rule for our fellow listeners and for anyone who's new, because there's someone who's new, and they might not know us, or care. But they might care.
You fucking ruined my goddamn story.
Sorry.
You piece of shit.
Jesus, Shane. Why you gotta be like that? God.
I don't want to do an intro. Fuck off.
Hey, we're already off to an excellent start.
I get enough.
Damn right we are.
I get enough of this shit with, work. Ugh, God damn it.
It's okay, let it out. This is good. Welcome. This is Dr. Shane's office of venting.
Fuck you, okay? How's your knee, by the way? You limping around there, Gimpy?
Honestly, I'm alright. For anyone for people listening, I double whammied myself.
Shane's brilliant.
I twisted
really
my
good.
knee at work, and a few days before I twisted it, apparently I had contracted poison ivy.
How? That's the thing. How'd you?
So here's what happened. I went for a walk in the woods.
Okay, that's your first mistake.
A day or two later, I thought I had a bug bite, so I wrapped it up. The wrap slid under my knee, and when I went to work, I twisted it up, and Ashley thinks the wrap pushed my knee out of place.
Yeah, that's what she was telling us.
And then basically, oops, you didn't treat your poison ivy properly because you thought it was a bug bite. Good job.
Pretty much.
Existence is suffering. To quote
Oh, God, I hate that kind of bullshit.
Nah, honestly, I'm fine. It sucks, but luckily it's properly being treated. And hopefully I can go back to work in about 2 weeks, which is what I really want.
No, yeah, I get that. Well, I was thinking about, what I was doing today. This could wrench my knee. But then I wouldn't have to do this anymore. No, it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah. Nick definitely, when my girlfriend recalled what happened, Nick was like, I feel that in my leg.
I do. It was
anytime where you wrench a knee, it's just like it's like getting kicked in the balls. And collectively, everybody who has knee issues feels that.
It's empathy. It's empathy.
The moment it happened to me after, like it happened, I was like, oh, this is a terrible experience, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next day when I woke up, I remembered it happened. It felt like I felt it all over again. And I was just like, I hate this. This sucks. This is, and it's frustrating. But you know what? My mom keeps telling me to chill out and just, gotta go through the motions.
Pretty much, yeah. There's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Though my mom today also, she was a little tired, and she's also really worried now that I have the poison ivy. And she's like, hey, there aren't red lines running up your leg. And I'm like, no, what would that be? And she goes, oh, blood poisoning. I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, I know poison ivy can sometimes cause it if it goes unchecked.
Right.
But, like, I literally saw a doctor yesterday. I think they would have caught blood poisoning.
Yeah, well, she's playing worried mom,
maybe.
So.
Fair enough. I mean, if, I did think about it, though, with my shitty luck, blood poisoning would definitely be next on the list.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
At that point, I'd tell him to cut off the leg. I'll be a pirate.
Hey, with all with the advancements in prosthetics, I think you'd be better off. Wait, we have to introduce ourselves. Hang on.
I'm sorry.
Are you?
He's not. He doesn't give a shit.
He knows. But that's why we're friends.
Exactly.
Actually, it was no. That's actually a mean joke. I won't say it.
Damn. Everything's starting off.
I was gonna reference picking teams.
Is Shane picked last? Is he just the one?
Oh, dude, you kidding me? I was always picked last, and the only time I wasn't was when I was team captain.
I can't remember.
Yeah, same. Like, don't remember. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I can't remember.
So, how about this? Since we're starting off with stuff that's semi-disappointing. Jumanji trailer?
Really?
I mean, listen, he said if we're starting off
semi-disappointing.
Okay,
I mean,
I just want to... I don't like dissecting trailers. I think it's just a dumb thing to do for any news group, for any group in general. And I don't want to, completely judge a movie just on a trailer. But seeing a trailer, it's like, I'm just thinking, I'm sitting there going, why? No. Why is it called Jumanji? It shouldn't be called Jumanji. Call it anything else. It might happen. And, okay, so we have the fat jokes, and we have the short jokes, and we have the bland jokes, and the stereotype. Yeah, okay, I get it now. Yeah, and also, this movie's 22 years too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the biggest feeling of it all, is this movie, much like how
Independence Day.
Independence Day, yeah, is kind of past its prime.
Well, yeah, it's past its prime just on, the fact that its predecessor, right? That's the right word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Predecessor was, I want to say 95. Okay. Maybe someone can look that up, and I don't know.
Sure, I'll do it right now.
Its predecessor is 95, and its jokes are 95.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're right for the time. They're right for the movie.
Well, yeah, okay. I get it. The Rock's huge. Oh, I get it. Kevin Hart
is 95.
Yeah. Kevin Hart is short. Karen Gillan is hot. Jack Black, oh, he's playing a fat guy, and he's also kind of a woman, and because that's the whole premise of it. I get that. No, I don't get that. That's just stupid. There's nothing clever about it.
The way I look at it is that you're right. It's not clever. It's very upfront about its comedy.
It's probably
but this isn't for us. This is easily to recognize. This is the Jumanji of this current generation, and if you didn't tell me the movie was called Jumanji at all, I'd be like, okay, this looks like a pretty decent get sucked into a game film, right? It's got a decent lineup of actors. The special effects look pretty good for the commercial. Like Kevin Hart and The Rock have great chemistry. I like Jack Black. But the moment you call it Jumanji, I'm like, that doesn't sit right with me. it's not gonna inspire. I think what they want to do is inspire people to be like, oh, I like Jumanji as a kid. Let me take my kids to see Jumanji. It's like, that's not good translation.
No, it's not. At the same time, you saying that this is going to be the Jumanji for this generation, that's like saying, all right, well, we need a Godfather for this generation. Oh, we don't. We don't like, or anything in that vein. We don't need it. I mean, we have our own things. Like, if you want to say what is an iconic movie that is a very good drama, we have got them. We had The Dark Knight. We had Logan recently this year. We have some of the James Bond films that have come out in the past 17 years. Like, we have those movies, and kids have those movies. It's just, we don't need this.
Zathura happened too.
Yeah,
that was the other thing.
Which is same author.
Yeah.
Yes, same author, same premise, different name entirely, which is a saving grace for it, because you go, Zathura is its own story. Jumanji is its own story.
and Zathura...
Similar mindset, different.
And Zathura was different from Jumanji because Jumanji was invading this world, and Zathura took him into its world.
Yeah.
Which is different. And this is basically Jumanji. Well, you guys remember the cartoon? Jumanji cartoon?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, where they...
Yeah, I really liked it.
I liked it too. It was also kind of... Art style was like either Wild Thornberries or All Real Monsters, if I remember right.
It was a mix between it.
It was like
yeah.
Yeah,
that cartoon had one episode that fucked me up really good.
Okay.
No, it was an episode where all the people turned into animals, and it scared the shit out of me as a kid.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I had like a wicked nightmare because of it, but it was a really good show.
It was really good.
Shane showing his Boston. So yeah, I mean, the whole premise of that show was the kids did get sucked into the game, which made sense because then they could explore the world of Jumanji, and that was fine. The thing that aggravated me about that trailer, though, was one, the stereotypes of all the kids, but the other thing was, like, when they brought it out, I was expecting to start hearing the drums,
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, "Hey guys, I found this." And then he's reading what is said on Jumanji. I'm like, "Okay, are they going to play the actual board game?" And all of a sudden they show the screen, and it's a video game. And I'm like, "Oh,
that is what makes it feel awkward too."
Yeah.
It takes you away from, like, I mean, it destroys what you're expecting it to be. Like just rips it apart. Because I was like, here's the shitty thing in all of this is the kind of, like, early trailer, the announcement trailer for the trailer.
I didn't even watch that.
Same.
So what pissed me off is in that fucking thing, you have people come across the goddamn board game on a beach.
Yeah.
Oh, the actual.
And I was
game.
like, the actual board game. I was like, oh shit, we're getting the board game. And then to get the trailer, it's a fucking, like, what looks like an Atari console. I was like, the shit is.
You know what that is? That's a movie.
Bullshit.
That's a movie exec saying, "Oh, kids don't play board games anymore." Horseshit.
Yeah.
Which is such horseshit.
Because if you go to a game castle, local here in Santa Clara, San Jose, and I think there's one in Mountain View, it is constantly packed. And there's constantly game nights and people playing games, people playing Warhammer, people playing Magic and Pokemon and just board games up the ass. And they're constantly busy and they're constantly selling stuff. You go to Target and they have a whole thing about board games and people can buy it. And Cards Against Humanity and Pandemic and Ticket to Ride are selling like crazy. Munchkin sells like crazy. Yeah. So to say that this generation, these two generations, our generation, which we're technically millennials, and the generation coming up, which I want to say are kids born in 2000, they're playing board games because they have YouTube and they watch. Was it Sit Down and Play or Shut Up and Play?
Shut Up and Play.
Shut Up.
There are a bunch of them out there. That's a big one.
There's Shut Up and Play. They're watching Shut Up and Play, and they're watching Tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then they're going to their mom saying, "Hey, I want this board game." You know, and they want to play the board games. Board games are making this huge resurgence. So it's some movie exec who does not know a damn thing what the fuck is really going on, saying, "Kids play video games. Trust me." And that's why it's a fucking video game and not a board game. That's my theory, and I like to think it's a fairly good theory.
It definitely was the moment where the kids find the console and they start picking their characters was kind of the moment I was done.
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, I don't care enough. I watched the full trailer, but I was like, this is terrible.
I was done, and then all of a sudden I see The Rock, and I'm like, okay, are the kids going to team up with The Rock? Oh no,
right.
That one dweeby kid, he's Rock. He's Dwayne Johnson now. Okay.
Yeah.
So those kids were on set for all of a couple of days.
So I give Rock a pass on this though, just because I saw him. Did you see Central Intelligence?
Well, yeah. I mean, I like Central Intelligence. I'm not going to give him a pass on this. I'm not going to give him a pass on this or Rampage, which is coming out.
Oh God, you just reminded me of this Rampage.
It's coming out. I've seen pictures of him on Instagram behind the scenes where he's like firing.
I can't give him a pass on Rampage.
Like he's firing like missiles and shit, probably fighting George or Lizzie or Ralph or some fucking crap. I don't know.
I forgot that.
Does he also get a helicopter?
Maybe, I don't know.
To save his daughter from the earthquake caused by the gorilla.
Oh, I just remembered a great movie coming out soon, or I'm hoping it's a great movie, but it's whatever. Great drama, I think. War for Planet of the Apes. Anyway.
I definitely seeing this trailer, I am not going to go see it just off of watching this trailer. I think that is a contributing factor of what pulls away from what the original Jumanji and even Zathura is that our focus was on these kids.
Yeah.
Kind of growing and developing and kind of dealing with, in a sense, a horrific situation going on while still having some older character to help them through this event. I think them just like scrubbing that away and going, well, we're just going to make it some goofy, stupid, campy action movie with these famous actors as the kids. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
You've done a disservice to kind of what the original Jumanji and what Zathura brought in. Like, no thanks. You won't get my money.
Ooh.
That's okay.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. Bear with me.
Okay.
Jumanji, or the latest Transformers movie, Giraffe to Your Shoulder.
Transformers. It already recognizes how bad it is. And it's already had its chances to make its mistakes, and boy howdy, it did. So I've accepted how bad it is. I'll take Transformers for 1,000.
All right.
Wow, you're a lot more steeled than I am.
It was not a hard choice. One just kind of took what I had seen as a kid, what I loved as a kid, crumpled it into a little ball, lit it on fire, and told me it's Jumanji 2.
Yeah.
And the other one is a piece of garbage that has been a piece of garbage for a while, and I just accept it as what it is. It's going to exist. It's going to be there.
And
whatever.
It's supposedly the last piece of garbage. Like, Michael Bay's done with it.
Cool.
And Michael Bay's done with it.
Done a long time ago.
He should have been done after the third one. But not Warner Brothers, whoever owns it, Universal, I think, they're like, no, make one more,
Universal.
one more, 2 more, 3 more, 10 more, and I think him and Mark Wahlberg basically kind of went to the execs and said, "This is it, we're done." So
yeah, I would easily take the newest Transformers over this movie.
I'm just
doesn't.
Yeah. I'm just kind of shocked that Anthony Hopkins is in it. Like, it's just like, really? Dude, you're an Oscar winner. You're a fucking knight. Like, you got, like, acclaim and all these accolades. Why this movie? And you know what?
Well,
he probably would have the same thing that Michael Caine would say about Jaws 4.
Oh, probably.
So, which I love Michael Caine's bit about that, which is when he was asked if he ever seen Jaws 4, he says, no, but I saw the house it bought.
Yeah. Right.
Which, I mean, it's the same thing why William H. Macy did Jurassic Park 3. He wanted to send his kids to college.
Yeah.
So,
is not good of a movie as that is.
Here's the other thing about Anthony Hopkins, too. At this point, he's not looking for another prolific role. He could just be bored.
I mean, what? He retired, right? That was the big thing.
I heard he retired.
Yeah.
And now he's out of retirement. Like, it's like, all right.
You get bored. Like, those people who are like creative people, at a certain point in your retirement, you get antsy and fidgety, and if something lands in your lap, no matter how like garbagey it is, you gotta do something. Yeah, you gotta kind of make it your own.
Yeah, Anthony Hopkins, I want to say, is in his 80s. He has to be. So, the excuse that an 80-year-old would have would be, well, my grandkids really enjoy these films, so I want to be in it and do it for them, which is an excuse for most things. But it's like, okay, really? If your grandkids watch this, one, how old are they?
Sure.
And two, there's better ways to connect with your grandkids than that. Because if you ever watch the films, okay, watch the second one. Like, there's like 4 upskirts, purposely shot upskirt shots in that whole film. Yeah. Okay, and then you watch the third one, there's literally a 5-minute shot of us following a butt.
Oh, yeah.
They're not very,
like, yeah, I'm sure your 10-year-old grandson loves it for the robots. No, your 10-year-old grandson found himself. I mean, not to knock him, but like, seriously.
I know, but I would say it is probably, Grandpa gets to be in a robot.
Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah,
he gets to actually like be with the Transformers. So do you guys kind of know what this one is about a little bit?
It's about Merlin and King Arthur and all this other shit. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, no, I heard that. It was like, it's Knights of the Round Table. Are we fucking with it? This is a joke. No, it's not a joke.
I read the whole plot on Wikipedia. I know what happens.
So, really quick, can I say one thing?
What?
This is movie what, number 6?
5.
Yeah, it's 5.
Wait a second.
It's
5. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's 5.
Yeah,
so
it's 5,
it's number 5, and well, I'm a big Transformers fan.
Yeah,
I think we've all talked about this. After movie 2, I was like, I better see some fucking Unicron.
They've in this.
They've never really delivered on it. Is he in it?
Supposedly he's in it.
See, that's the thing. I've been waiting so long, but now I've lost interest. And then they did a thing with Age of Extinction where they were like, "Oh, we have Grimlock," and I was like,
Grimlock wasn't Grimlock. Let's just be honest.
It better really be Grimlock. It wasn't Grimlock, and I'm just like...
At the same time, like, when Grimlock shows up, you're like, where are them credits?
Yes, this is where the credits start. No, we still have a few minutes left of a movie? What the hell?
Here's the thing. I can accept the 20 fucking endings of Return of the King.
Sure.
Yeah.
Around the 10th ending, I wanted it to fucking end. But still, I'm like, okay, fine. Fade to black, come back, fine. Fade to black, come back, fine. Okay, just wrap it the fuck up, fine. Alright, good. Great movie. That was like...
Yeah.
We should have ended like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, I remember telling you about my experience with
Nick.
And like, just sitting there, and thank God for Netflix. Because I was watching it with my brothers, and I'm like, this movie's over, right? No, it's still going? Yeah. What is this?
It's too long.
Oh, God.
It's so painful to see what happened to Transformers. Just because the first one was pretty good. Like, it wasn't stellar, but it was like, okay, I expected this of a Transformers movie.
Yeah.
Mm.
And granted, I was really sad that they killed Jazz.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, number 2 comes out, and I was like, okay, this was kind of crappy, but you want to know what? Jetfire was in it. I'll let it go.
I actually liked that interpretation of Jetfire.
Yeah, it was different.
Old man.
Crotchety old man, yeah.
But then we saw Dark
that.
of the Moon is what it is.
Yeah, Dark of the Moon, and people,
and
stupid title. No, they couldn't
fucking
use Dark Side of the
terrible.
Moon because of copyright.
Yeah.
Dark of the Moon was just flat out garbage.
Oh, yeah.
People could be like, oh, these cool action sequences. I was like, no, they literally just took Transformers, pissed on it, and then threw a match on it and said, hey, look, it glows.
Dude, the racist bots. Come on.
Right? It is complete garbage. But it's also, in my opinion, the entire of all the Transformers films, it's the only one with an actual plot. Like, I can't talk. I can actually see Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, and the purpose of every single one. And it's laid out better than the other ones. Again, still garbage. Sure. But the other thing I liked about it is I was like, oh man, I'm really glad they shot this for 3D, because then the camera is stable and I can see who the fuck is hitting who. Yeah. That was the only saving grace of it. Me personally, out of those 3, I won't count Extinction. The 4th one is Extinction, which went on forever and it's still going. Out of those 3, I think that the 3rd one's probably far the best. The 2nd one, I think, is probably the worst one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
There's just something about the 2nd one that I think it's a lot of the upskirt shit.
Yeah.
That wasn't fucking needed. I think something about Megan Fox in that film was, I don't know. It was something about her. The twins, they were lovely fucked up.
Yep.
And Optimus dies and then gets brought back to life, and it's, Optimus is supposed to be the leader of the fucking Autobots. He's supposed to be like this badass son of a bitch, and he gets fucked up in the first one, and then he gets tangled in wire in the 3rd one, which delays him for most of the final fight.
Right.
You get tangled up in in crane wire, and that delays you. You're Optimus Prime. Fucking really? That's kind of like Superman not being able to lift something. Like, the dude moved a planet. It's
pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's bullshit. So it's ugh. Whatever. If you guys want to watch something that concerns Transformers but dives into a lot of technical stuff and the theory and all that kind of stuff behind filmmaking, focusing on Transformers, I can link it to you guys. It's web series. One woman that I watch, Lindsay Ellis. She was Nostalgia Chick. If you guys remember that.
Oh, okay.
She does her own thing now, and she has this series that it's going to be coming out 2 episodes every month, and she calls it The Whole Plate, which is a line that she fucking loves from the first Transformers movie. And she's basically examining the Transformers movies and their effect on cinema as a whole. And hearing her, she's talked a lot about that a lot. And hearing her talk about it and pointing it out, it's like I can see how Transformers is influencing a lot of movies, even the Marvel movies, with just how they're shot and the colors. So these movies, the first one's 10 years old, all have an effect. So, oh Jesus, that means we got one every 2 years. Huh. Yeah, how about that shit?
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, we got a Transformers movie every 2 fucking years. And we have yet to get Half-Life 3. That's a great win.
Talking about things that never exist.
Yeah, right.
So let's see.
Let's talk about something else. Jumanji bullshit. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, two of us are unhappy. Shane's kind of in the middle ground of like, maybe it could be good. Just wish it wasn't named Jumanji.
I'd be much more happy with it. I'll definitely say that.
Yeah.
What was it though? So there's the Jumanji trailer, that bull crap. Oats Studio, right?
Yeah, I can talk about that.
Yeah.
So we posted this a while back about Niell Blomkamp's kind of Blomkamp. Thank you. I guess project. He's kind of project child that he's been working on. Oats Studio. And I hadn't realized that they had put out anything until today. Apparently there are three videos that they've put out so far. Two of them are kind of like more full-length shorts, and one of them is a commercial, which is very interesting. So yeah, they very much feel like his type of movies, and they don't have any connection with each other. So you can kind of watch them out of sync. There's no needed knowledge from one to the next, which is good. But they're very, very cool and very creepy in their own rights. The first one actually has Sigourney Weaver, and that's kind of that's the one that most of the trailers we've seen for have come from, with the kind of weird snake aliens that have like 4 arms carrying guns.
For a web series, to get someone like Sigourney Weaver is really impressive.
You mean one of the queens of sci-fi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And her role feels that in that movie feels that big, like she's that important of a character.
That's cool.
Which feels right. And what's interesting is she's not the narrator for it.
Okay. It feels like
another character you meet is.
Feels like her part's bigger in this half-hour short. Right? It feels like her part's bigger than this than it was in Chappie.
She was in Chappie.
Yeah, she was the director of the company.
She was the director of the company.
Oh God!
Yeah, but like the thing is, it was her use in that movie was the same as Hugh Jackman, which is like, oh look, we have a famous actor.
This one, you understood what her role was very clearly, and I liked her character. Like, again, it's a 20-minute short, maybe it's like 22 minutes at most. But you get a sense of where everything is. They kind of lay it out I feel a little robotic for like a 3-act story. You have the kind of overall, where things are now, what's happened to our world. Let's focus on these 2 unique characters, and then let's kind of connect the 2 together in our final act. So that feels a little robotic, but I think it works for the movie. It was cool. That was Raka.
It's
the one
it's on his IMDb page. I'm looking at his IMDb page, Niell Blomkamp, and he only has 3 big actual go in the theaters movies.
Just Chappie Elysium and
District 9.
District 9.
Yeah.
Alright.
Everything else is a short film.
Cool. I mean, looking at these, even the commercial felt very good. And, there was a moment very early on in that commercial. I'm like, shit's gonna go wrong real quick. Shit's just gonna go wrong very quick. They also released a second teaser trailer with other shorts that are going to be coming out, and I think other commercials that they're going to work on with these same characters. So it's going to be interesting to see, have these cool, half-hour shorts, and in between them, we're going to have these 3-minute TV ads on a B-movie channel.
Yeah.
For some weird product that you never probably would ever buy in your lifetime.
Yeah. This year, it's Zygot, I forget. I think that's how you pronounce it. Raka, and Firebase, and still they have listed on his IMDb page, untitled Niell Blomkamp Alien Project. It's like, yeah, I want it too. I do, but it's like Niell Blomkamp, the man who wants to make a good movie and gets it yanked from him. Like, but that's the second one he's gotten yanked from.
But I like, it's kind of distressing as it is. It's sad to hear. I really am happy that this is what he's focusing on.
Right.
And what's cool is you can watch, so you don't have to watch these movies or shorts through YouTube alone. They're actually up on Steam as well.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, apparently they have like some partnership or connection with Steam as well that you can, you either watch them on YouTube, like I'm most likely going to be doing, or you can watch them on Steam as well.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
If you've not watched, if you've not had a chance to watch it, or you had no idea, like myself, that they were out, definitely check it out. Between the two shorts, I liked Firebase more, but I think it's because the setting was interesting and it wasn't what I was expecting.
Right.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, and it at the very end, as much as like I thought Rocco was cool, I was like, all right, cool. You kind of you have a complete story. Firebase left me wanting more. It left me wanting to see what was going to happen next. And I think that's a good feeling to have with these experimental shorts. Is if an audience member can go, I'd like to see more of this. I'd like this more developed. You've crafted a pretty good story. You've crafted a good hook.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely. You guys, when you get a chance, watch them.
I definitely will. But it's Blomkamp's MO, because I just realized this. When he couldn't make the Halo movie, he made District 9. When he couldn't make the Alien movie, he's making this. So it's kind of like an interesting. It's interesting. It's like, well, I can't do the thing I fucking want to do, so I'm gonna make my own fucking thing. But I guess that's kind of like his mode.
You know what I really like about his style is that he creates these really intricate sci-fi stories, but he touches on some really heavy drama.
Yeah, the thing about sci-fi, it's supposed to. Everyone thinks it's supposed to be futuristic and everything, but in reality, it's supposed to be kind of an allegory or a metaphor for what is really happening. I mean, District 9 is about race and racism, and strongly about the apartheid.
Yeah.
I forget what Chappie is about. Chappie is definitely poignant because it's about police and over police states and police brutality and all this other stuff. And like the what's the word I'm looking for? Where we want it with cars. Self-driving cars.
Automation.
Automation. Can you imagine the automation of the police force? That's some scary shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what it's about. Though Chappie fucked me at the end.
Dude, what would be cool, though, is you mentioned he was going to do Halo.
Yeah.
I would love to see him do a Halo movie, but I want him to do the story about the start of the Spartan program.
Sure.
Yeah.
I want him to tell that story, because that's all about ethics. That's all about, the abduction of these kids and all this crazy shit they go through. And I feel like if he told that story, it'd be a fucking award-winning movie.
Well, it's funny that
Isn't
you guys
that Ender's
say that
Game?
A little bit, yeah. In the second teaser trailer, the other movie, if they're only doing, or other short that they're doing, kind of has a Halo vibe due to the main character's armor that he's in.
Oh, really?
It looks very Spartan-like.
That's cool.
Okay.
But definitely, I mean, I can only gauge so much information off of just like a few snippets with very little, talking and stuff. It does have a very Spartan-like look to it, and so maybe again with these, that I can't do these movies. I'm not allowed to do these movies, so I'll take potentially what I worked on and make it into a short that's different. It's definitely not 100% the original thing, but maybe inspired by it a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, man, I'm really happy with it. So I look forward to it.
He gets discouraged in the right way.
I wouldn't say discouraged. I definitely think he's a little petty. He's well, fuck you guys.
Fuck you, I'll do my own thing. And he actually does his own thing. It's kind of like Bender in Futurama going, like, I'll go make my own casino, or whatever, with, hookers and blackjack. Screw the whole thing. That's pretty much everyone's intent to, like, I'm gonna go do something better and, fuck you guys. He's like, I'm gonna do something better, fuck you guys, and he comes up with this. Or District 9, it's a pretty good thing. So, between the 3 big films that he's made, I think District 9 is still the strongest. Chappie is up there, and the ending blows you away. And then Elysium, I say, is kind of the weakest. I don't know if you guys have seen Elysium.
I have, and I will agree with you, Nick. District 9 is definitely the strongest of them.
Yeah.
Not to downplay how great Chappie is. I will say Chappie definitely takes the second, by and large. And Elysium, it just didn't hit the right notes, but it wasn't a bad movie.
No, it wasn't a bad movie. It's just, you're right. It just didn't hit the right notes. But there's also too many slow-mo parts where people are yelling at Matt Damon to get up.
Yeah.
And, after the 4th one, you're like, fucking help him.
The subplot of Elysium was really weird. Like the underlying plot with Matt Damon's character and his past.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I'm tired of upper level worlds being named Elysium.
Sure.
That's just a running trope in sci-fi, and I get it. It's a cool name.
Little trite at this point.
Yeah. It's oh yay, rum in heaven. All right, we get it.
All right. We got it. You've beaten this into.
Why don't you just name it Paradise and say fuck you?
The thing that killed me about Elysium 2, though, was that it was named Elysium and it was a fucking ring world.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I was just like, someone's still pretty upset about that Halo movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, look at most of his films. There's references to all of that.
You take what drives you, and if you can't do it, as you said, you adapt it. You make it. You make it yours. Then you say, "Fuck it." Not gonna let me do this. I'll make something out of it. Then that's my own.
Yeah, and I will always put what's his name, Charlotte Copley in it. He will always be in my movies.
No matter what.
Yeah. You won't see him, Chappie, but he'll be in it.
When I saw Chappie, I was like, man, he must be a really big Diane Wood fan.
He is, or he was, because after that, he's like, okay, I'm not going to deal with you again, because he got pissed off at Ninja.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Which, that seems natural, because Ninja seems like the guy you get pissed off at, because he's just fucking out there.
Oh god, yeah, he's unwieldy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember when Will told me that Diane was actually a group.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, it's really cool, but that ninja guy and his girlfriend seemed like weird choices for actors, right? And Will was like, oh no, they're actually a music group.
Yeah. And
I was like, what the fuck? You have Hugh Jackman and Sigourney Weaver, but your main cast is your favorite rap band? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Listen,
I mean, you do what you want.
I've heard Fatty Boom Boom too many times. It just kind of goes, yes, perfect. We'll do this. We'll do it live.
Yeah, I'm just thinking, trying to watch Chappie on, say, cable would be really hard because most of Ninja's tattoos, and you see a lot of them, are, fucked up and phallic.
Yeah, they're pretty
vulgar.
So
you feel
for cable.
Yeah, so it's man, you have to blur. He basically would just be a gigantic blur for most of the film on TV.
Well, half his scenes, he's never wearing a shirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's so I'm trying to think.
He's got a cock on one arm.
That is true.
He does. He has a full-fledged dick on his arm.
When you watch Chappie, anyone who's actually going to see Chappie, by the way,
Count
if you
the
like
dicks.
Chappie, if you like Chappie, you should also check out this game called Eclipse Phase. For anyone who plays RPGs, only because I played Eclipse Phase and it talks about singularity, right? Which is actually a sub theme of Chappie.
Yeah, and you're really creeping up on the spoiler part. So
yeah. So I'm not gonna spoil it, but basically, if you liked it, check this. It's a sci-fi RPG, horror RPG, tabletop.
It doesn't
check
have
it out,
to be
'cause
horror.
It's really, it doesn't have to be, but I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
If you like RPGs as much as we do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
So to go into some movie trends, me and Will finally saw Wonder Woman, and Shane, you saw Wonder Woman a couple weeks before us, right?
Yes.
Okay, so might be going into a wee bit of spoilers.
So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie, be warned.
Well, to be real for a second, come on, guys, it's been like a month.
Well, yeah, it's been a month, but still, it's like
spoilers ahead. Fair
spoilers ahead. Maybe when it's on video, fuck it, you had your chance.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, I liked it. I mean, there was some part. I mean, there's some. I didn't not. How was put this? There were a lot of parts that were that dragged tone wise.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was really good.
Yeah, I think overall I liked the movie, but I definitely had my problems with it.
Yeah.
I as you said, Nick, there were parts where it dragged on a little longer than it needed to have.
Yeah.
I get that we're trying to do a lot of setup, and sometimes that can take a little while, but I don't necessarily think we needed the dance scene in
the village.
Yeah.
The village, that could have been shortened a lot.
Yep.
I'm really glad they didn't focus on the supposed sex that they had. I mean, they didn't focus on it. It's just implied. It's pretty obvious. So
the village scene. The problem with the village scene was that it was such a slowdown because No Man's Land happens before it, and that fucking sequence is awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's but we stay there so long because we want to get that emotional punch that comes later, which is kind of,
It was one of those where realistically you didn't need it.
Yeah.
What
you could start seeing that there was a connection between those two characters. You didn't have to spell it out for the audience, I don't think.
Yeah.
Well, I think in terms of the emotional punch for the village getting gassed, you what you just had to do, to be real, after the photo gets taken, right?
Yeah.
You have a little girl or a little small child walk up, give Diana a flower. They have a flower basket. Later, when Diana goes back to, you don't want to do anything else, she goes back to smoke-covered village. She finds flower basket, no person.
Yeah.
Congratulations, emotional sucker punch achieved with less film.
And she can still get mad at Steve like she wants to get mad at Steve.
Exactly.
Right.
She doesn't want to get mad at Steve, but she thinks Steve is misunderstanding. It's one of these weird films where it's the audience is with Steve in understanding everything, and she isn't. But her mission, and we get it, on some level we get that it's dire, but we're kind of just brushing it off because most of the time when it's mentioned for kind of comedy, and all her awkwardness is comical. So it doesn't resonate. And when we finally get to the villain, the actual villain, it's kind of lost. Although the mission doesn't seem so important until the very end, because most of the time it's just being brushed off.
Right.
That's not something I didn't like. It's not something I didn't mind. But yeah, it's odd. It's the problem with all superhero movies. It's just the villain.
Well, so
I thought the villain wasn't as bad as some of the Marvel ones have been recently.
Well, which villain? Ares, the general.
Ares.
Okay.
No, Ares, our major villain.
Yeah. Okay. Ares was a nice surprise, but it took too long. There's too much monologuing. That's
to finally get into a fight between them.
Yeah. I was like, okay, hurry the fuck up. That's kind of where I was at.
That fight was interesting, but it didn't feel weighted.
Yeah, exactly.
Because nothing hinged on that fight, to be real.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely say that fight between those two, cinematically for me, took me out of the movie.
Yeah.
It is, for whatever reason, a stylistic choice that Warner Brothers has gone with, that as soon as we have our major superheroes, we decide to remove them from an actual scene and green screen them in.
Right.
Or green screen the scene behind them. And there were just points where I'm like, why? Why is, like, her charging through all the Nazis, kind of punching and kicking and taking them down. I was like, this is not a great looking scene. This is kind of meh.
Yeah.
And, like, the unnecessary amounts of slow-mo that we got. Like, we had a great scene where it felt good, you know, her kicking their asses in the town. That whole segment of slow-mo sequences felt appropriate, felt really good. Our repetitive use of it after that point felt really unnecessary. It again, just like prolonged the movie, took me out of it. I was like, all right, we can have this fight sequence and make it look good still without needing the slow-mo impact of everything.
Did you count the overuse of her theme?
I didn't think it was that overused.
I felt it was overused. I felt like it took away from the drama of the final use of it.
It didn't bother me nearly as much, and it probably accompanies the fact that I don't know the Wonder Woman theme as well.
Okay.
So I just felt like it was a well executed guitar riff for something epic about to happen. So it was an audio cue that, oh shit, something cool's gonna happen. And I was like, okay, I'll pay attention more now, movie. Thank you for telling me what to do. Yeah. But yeah, I like the movie. I definitely will say it is the best of the DC movies.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down. Is it perfect? No. Not for me. Did I hate it? No. There were some things that I just didn't like about it that I felt like they could have done differently. You know, they could have chosen just different things. And I think it would have still been just as good. It would have just kind of been fleshed out a little bit better for myself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my feeling on it. I liked it though. Thought it was good.
Yeah, I liked it too. I mean, out of all the DC movies that have come out within, I guess, the cinematic universe, this is definitely the best one. And I've seen all of them. Yeah. And it's just that, like, the difference is, it's like Wonder Woman knows what she wants to do. Yeah. And she embodies that. You know, she knows she's kind of a symbol. And there's nothing that wavers from it. I mean, I guess it wavers for her at the end, but it's also kind of a flashback, so it really doesn't matter that we get that kind of, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Shaky, like this, like, you know.
A wavering feeling.
Yeah, because, you know, what happened 100 years ago. Yeah, you know, so she has some time to get over it, and at the same time, she's still doing what she does, and you know, she's helping who she can as Wonder Woman. So,
Mm-hmm.
but overall, I thought it was good. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens with Justice League if anyone sees Justice League coming out.
I don't plan to be honest.
Yeah.
Same. Like, it doesn't interest. As me and you were talking about it, Nick. There's only one character out of this whole lot that I'd like to see. That is Aquaman.
Yeah.
Because I love the actor, and I totally am reminded of Ronan from Stargate Atlantis.
Right.
And I think that's fucking awesome. I think his character is like who he is as an actor plays a great character. You know, his role. I typically enjoy his characters. So, outside of that, I'd be excited for his movie, not a fucking Justice League movie.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about what the problem with Justice League as a whole. So,
Yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, I rather watch some of the movies, the animated movies that have come out, like Throne of Atlantis or Bad Blood or any of that shit.
Yeah, they're just far better animated movies out there.
Yeah. So, but I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, there's other DC movies on the horizon. I'm just kind of wondering what they'll do because they have an interesting premise for a Green Lantern movie. I mean, it's a good premise. It's a good elevator pitch.
Sure.
It's just, man, I hope you can pull it off. Because it's a good premise. It really is.
Yeah.
You heard.
I mean, after the fucking last one, definitely is needed.
Yeah, okay, they say, oh yeah, after the last one, they can only go up from there. That's true, when shit lands on the ground, yeah, you can only go up from that. But you know what you could do with this shit is you could smear it all around.
I mean, this is also true.
Yeah.
This is the very dark truth of making movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I like it because the supposed premise is basically... Because what are the Green Lanterns? They're basically universe cops.
Oh, yeah.
They're space police, essentially. So, the whole premise of the supposed elevator pitch is it's going to be Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And they're basically going to be together, and it's going to be like a buddy cop movie.
Okay.
Which can work.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you could just spread a bunch of shit around. So,
right.
Well, we'll just see what happens. I mean, yeah.
If there's going to be a Green Lantern movie,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want Sinestro to be the bad guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just because he's the best bad guy the Green Lantern's got.
Yeah.
And if it's a buddy cop movie, what could happen? One of them could be like, "Hey, who's Sinestro?" And everyone gets quiet, and he goes, "We don't talk about that asshole."
Yeah.
And then he comes back to fuck up stuff
yeah.
Sure.
Very simple equation.
Here, the problem, it doesn't matter who it is. With the problem with Wonder Woman is the problem with every superhero movie that has come out, for the exception of the first Avengers film, maybe the second one, but definitely the first one, is the villains are kind of whatever. There's just I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because a good chunk of most of the villains have been CGI, or they just been they added nothing to the movie as a whole because they weren't the main focus, or whatever it is. It's just most villains in most of these superhero movies that are coming out are just very lackluster. There's nothing that why I don't give a shit why Wonder Woman fought any of the villains that she fought. I really don't. I mean, some of it was cool, but I didn't care that she fought Ares. I didn't care that she fought the General.
I mean, Ares definitely made sense why she... Well, you understood why.
You understand why, of course, but,
Well, he even says it at the end of the movie. He's like, I didn't start the war. I didn't do this shit. Like,
yeah.
like in her mind, Ares was the end all be all, and you think that with her, and he's like, no, he would just fight all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, which is not inaccurate.
No, it's not.
But it's very lackluster for the god of war to be like, oh, I didn't start the war.
Yeah, it is very lackluster. But the thing is, it's just there's no impact. You never feel the impact of anything. With every villain that has come out. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, I think that inherently is just the problem with comic book villains.
Yeah, probably.
Is name it outside of like a civil war, an end all be all situation in a comic book franchise. When have you felt a villain was impactful in what they were doing in the comic book?
In the comic book or in a movie?
I mean, like comic books will translate to movies well enough.
I'm just going off of movies.
Sure, but like they have to be found somewhere. Like there is source material. When do you feel in a comic book, outside of like a major conflict in the universe, that a villain has felt impactful?
So actually,
in the comics, that's what you're saying. You're in the pages, in the ink and the paint,
right? Because that information will translate to the movies.
So as the
most impactful villain is probably the Joker.
Sure.
Okay, a comic wise.
Because he's crazy.
Because he's crazy, and he's also killed Robin. Like, sure. You can't really get more impactful than that. I mean, Thanos has killed the entire Marvel universe as well.
But I think
I'd like
that's
to
one of those
put a point out
major
there.
Villains. Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
So the thing about comic book villains in the comic books, though, is that I think they're more impactful in the books instead of the movies, because in the books, they get, like, 5 to 7 issues of their own little storyline where they are impacting that superhero's life.
Right.
Sure.
Like, for instance, you could say, oh, Dr. Octopus wasn't impactful in the movie, though I think he kind of was. But, like, in the comic books, he's super impactful for the fucking 6 issues that he's, trying to expose Peter Parker as Spider-Man.
Right.
Like the way, the problem is with the medium is that the villains, a lot of Marvel's villains, because they're not, I can't remember what the saying about Marvel's villains, but basically, like, they're people who are generally on a good path who get screwed, and they don't find another path except to be bad.
Sure.
And so, when you have a lot of characters like that, it's like, well, they're not necessarily individually that great. And with the exception of maybe Ultron, but then he got like 12 issues of like tormenting people, you know what I mean?
Right.
And when you try to compress that, you can't capture all of it.
Right.
So I think that lies the problem, is that a lot of these villains need setup.
Yeah.
To create an impactful environment, and we have 2 hours to tell a story.
Right, and that's why probably I feel out of all the MCU villains that have come out, Loki's probably the best one, because we've had 2 movies with him. We had one movie before with him, and that's set things up.
I think it's that, and it's also the actor.
Yeah, the actor definitely helps. The actor helps with also the Joker as well. You have Heath Ledger, who was a phenomenal Joker, and then you have Jared Leto, who was that.
Was a problem.
Yeah.
So I think this is kind of why, by and large, superhero villains are starting to feel less impactful. Is that a couple of reasons. We have an expected standard for what we want. It's hard to develop a character or a villain's impact in such a short amount of time. And our actor choices may or may not 100% fit the bill. It may be like in the 80-90%, but that still doesn't give enough time to sink in.
Yeah.
So I think there is a lot of our issues right now with the movies. It's just there's not enough time to really get it going.
I have a little bit of hope for Michael Keaton as the Vulture. I mean, we'll have to see with Spider-Man.
Same.
But there's also the fact that I just keep thinking about, like, we keep hearing about Thanos. We keep seeing Thanos here and there. We see him in the first Guardians movie, and we saw him at the end of I forget what movie it is, where he takes the gauntlet and he says, "I'll do it myself." I think that was Age of Ultron.
Yeah, I think so.
So like we've seen him twice, but no one, maybe the exception of the Guardians of the Galaxy, but no one on Earth, not even Thor, has gone, "Oh, it's Thanos."
Yeah.
So when he finally comes on screen, he needs to have a setup, and it needs to be impactful, and he needs to do something fucking like messed up to make all of like everyone that's going to be after him want to go after him.
I mean, I think that's why we're getting 2 movies.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. The one thing I think is the supposed rumor I've heard about the Infinity War movie coming out, the first one at least. So we've had, how many movies have we had with Iron Man? 4? 5?
With him in it? Or
with
just Iron Man movies in general?
Okay, we've had 3 Iron Man movies where it's just Iron Man.
Sure.
We've had 2 Avengers movies, so that's 5. And then we had Civil War. Yeah. So that's 6.
Oh, and then he's going to be in Homecoming.
And he's going to be in Homecoming, so that's 7. And we've also had 3 Captain America movies.
Sure, and he's been he's basically been in the same amount of movies.
Yeah,
give or take.
Yeah, exactly. He's been in both Avengers movies, and we know about Thor, and we know, and through all those other movies, we know about Natasha, and we know about Hawkeye,
Banner,
Hawkeye, and the Falcon, and Bucky. We know all these characters. We've had 3. We had anywhere between 3 and 5 films with these characters. Yeah. So we know about them. We don't know anything about Thanos. The general public doesn't know anything about Thanos. So the possibility of what they're going to be doing for Infinity War, the first one, is Thanos is going to be the main character. Which is how I think you should do it. I think we should be with Thanos for majority of the film. Because we have...
it could be interesting.
Yeah, we have to know what the fuck he wants to do. Sure. You know,
I mean that's definite. Yeah.
You know, he can't be just like a one-off thing. You know, he can't.
Consider we have 2 movies with him.
Yeah, he has to build. So he and because he has to build, he has to be impactful. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm hoping for. Because it's kind of shocking that next year we are finally going to get Thanos, considering the fact that 5 years ago we saw him first. You know, at the end of Avengers, the first Avengers movie, we never even thought we were going to get here, and here we are. So it's like, you know, we're finally going to get him. It better pay off. That's what I'm
thinking about it.
Yeah,
I'm going back through all the Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
There's only in the current MCU, there's only 2 villains I think that actually kind of fit their bill, even though they're not like amazing standout, and that's in the Incredible Hulk.
Abomination,
Abomination, and Thaddeus fucking Ross.
Yeah, and Thaddeus Ross does play a role in Civil War too, kind of. So
no, I mean he's actually an important character, and the thing is though, even though he's not really the quote unquote villain, right?
Right.
He's just he's a guy who thinks he's doing the right thing, and really he just has a vendetta against his daughter's boyfriend. But
fucking ass.
Right? But like he's really good he is a kind of villain because he is a driving force.
Yeah.
Like he is
he's a good antagonist.
Yeah. And then Abomination was spot on because he was literally what he was supposed to be, just the counterpoint to the Hulk.
Yeah. Sure. Exactly. Well, I remember when that came out, people were like, "Oh yeah, the climax of the movie is going to be this 20-minute fight between the Hulk and Abomination," and everyone was dogging it until they saw it. And it
was awesome.
It's a fantastic fight. It still holds up, and that movie's almost 10 years old. Yeah. So, yeah, I fucking love the Incredible Hulk movie. It's unfortunate that Edward Norton can't be in the Avengers films, but Mark Ruffalo, I think, is fitting it quite nicely.
Oh, I think he's doing it.
Yeah, he's doing great. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, Shane. Thaddeus Ross and definitely the Abomination have a very huge impact on things.
Yeah.
So.
But, like, I'm thinking back really quick to, like, the first Iron Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is Ironmonger could have been cool, but there was no lead up to him being Ironmonger.
Well, yeah,
right?
I mean, they just basically... He was greedy and he wanted... You know, there was no...
And then there was Red Dynamo / Whiplash.
Yeah.
It's basically both characters. And that fucking blew up out of their face because they didn't utilize him at all. Yeah. And then they give you the perfect representation of what the Mandarin could be. And then it's a joke.
And they chose the joke Mandarin versus the actual Mandarin.
Okay,
and I know
it worked.
I know
though.
you like it. You're okay with it, Nick. But I was just kind of like, you guys kind of like sucker punched me. I don't know why.
Well, no, I mean I get it, but the same. I mean, to explain magic that early on in that universe.
No, I know it would have been a pain in the ass.
Especially with someone like Tony, who's a more science than anything else. Yeah, it would be a pain in the ass. I mean, I'm really looking forward to him interacting with Doctor Strange. It's going to be great. But Iron Man 3 works. I think the villain's impactful. You know, mostly I think he's impactful because he's exactly like Tony. He's a cocky piece of shit.
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, yeah, I think it worked.
He's also like the worst stalker ever.
Yes, this is very true.
Oh, yeah.
What was I going to say? One other villain that I thought that was pretty okay.
That's a great title.
Well, I mean, it was... so, it wasn't necessarily Malik in Dark World, but his like, right-hand guy that, like, fucks himself up to become a monster.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that character had been more of a presence.
Yeah.
Because he was basically like, you know... Oh, we need someone who can compete with Thor. Well, this is the guy who can compete with Thor.
Sure.
But of course, you know, he's not really a speaking role, or he apparently loses the ability to just talk, right?
Right.
But he was such a cool concept for a character. I wish either Malik became that guy, or that guy kind of pushed Malik aside and said, no, I want to fight Thor.
Yeah.
And then you would have had like a more interesting thing. Because the thing is, Malik himself was just kind of bitchy. He's kind of bitchy, really.
Yeah, I mean, and Thor, the second Thor movie is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
I will say I liked the second Thor movie over the first one.
I like it for
even with a weak villain, I still think story wise it was much better.
Yeah, I mean, I do like it as well. It does bug me, but I think that's mostly to do with the villain. But I like the fact that Thor isn't, like, I hate the first Thor movie, not because of the camera angles or anything like that, like you hate it, but I just hate how fucking cocky and asinine he is.
It just doesn't feel like a good Thor movie. There's, like, 2 different movies attached to that.
Right. Well,
it feels like there's a Thor movie and then something else that was, like, Notebook-esque or, like, some other, like, romantic comedy.
Really quick.
You pretty much hit the nail on the head.
We should probably wrap soon, but really quick. Because did I ever bring up this really awesome parallel between Cars 3 and Thor? Or not Cars 3, Cars and Thor?
What?
No. If you take the base synopsis for Cars and Thor, it's nearly identical.
Sure.
Cocky superstar who has everything going for him, gets dropped off at a desert town, and he has to figure himself out before he can go back to his life.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there is some parallel. I mean, Thor is
missing...
not
like exactly the same.
Yeah,
but...
Thor is missing his hick friend who won't shut the fuck up.
No, that is Thor, unfortunately. He is the hick friend.
He is the hick friend who won't shut the fuck up. I guess there's some similarity to that. But yeah,
if I could find the full thing, it's like a Tumblr post where they describe what the movie, without like mentioning names or places, and it goes, "Okay, that was a cool synopsis. Now, did I describe Cars or Thor?" And it's like, "Oh shit, they're so similar." But I mean, you know, Cars was successful, so good job, Thor.
Yeah, I still want to say the third one.
The third Cars?
Yeah.
I've only heard good things about it, so I'm hoping to see it.
I have not heard good things about it.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard some pretty negative things on it. So I'm just like, oh boy. Who would have?
Very much confused then.
Yeah. I mean, it comes down to like who the person is, really, like what type of person they are will really kind of dictate whether they liked it or not.
Yeah.
So I think there will be those people that just didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't the movie for them, and there will be those people that loved it. So yeah.
As with everything,
definitely.
There's one more thing I want to mention. I just like a little personal thing for me. So apparently, it's been going around on the net that it's the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter.
Yeah,
which came out in like '97. The first one did. The Sorcerer's Stone. Those books had a bigger impact on my life than I care to recall. Because it's just so. I don't know if I told you guys this. I couldn't read until I was late in school.
Okay.
It was just something like I couldn't get my head around it, learning disability. And when I finally got to be able to read, I hated it.
Sure.
Because it was this weird standard that I felt that I just didn't see the point to it because I'm told to read X amount of chapters for homework and then write about X amount of chapters and discuss why they're impactful or some bullshit like that. And it's like, this isn't... How is this pleasurable? Like, how do people enjoy this? And my mom tried everything to get me to read or to like reading. She tried bribery. She tried threats. She tried making it a chore. She's tried putting my Nintendo or PlayStation on lock and key until I read something. It just never happened. And she bought these books, the first 3 in like 99.
Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't pick them up. The first movie came out, then I picked up the second one, and that was actually the first book ever that I have read, up until that point, that I picked up, started reading, and read all the way through, and literally got why it was enjoyable. Why reading was enjoyable. So, it's actually, yeah. So, Harry Potter helped me learn to like reading, and got me to start writing. Yeah. And it's kind of interesting that it's come this far as being 20 years old.
Harry Potter is actually kind of a big thing in my town.
Yeah.
So much so that apparently on July 8th, the town commons, which is like a little shopping area,
right,
is turning itself into Hogwarts for the day.
That's cool.
Yeah, I read about that like a few days ago, and I was like, well, I can't wait for that because I liked Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Harry Potter as a casual read. I've never been like a big, go to Cogswell, meet a bunch of people who are super into Harry Potter.
Yeah, there was a few of us there.
Yeah.
Our friend Rachel especially.
Oh, yeah. That's...
she wanted to go...
I remember when I first mentioned Harry Potter around her.
Yeah. She wanted to go to all the midnight showings, and we went to all the midnight showings. But the funny thing about her was she was bored in one of the... before, the movie finally came on. So she sat next to me, pulled out a test online, a Harry Potter test, and did it with me, and I fucking nailed, every question that happened. And she looked at me at the end, and she's like, what the fuck? And it's like, the problem is I pick up the books every now and then and just, start skimming through all of them. So, I tend to know them by heart. Though, I made a promise to myself, this is basically me doing what my mom did to myself. But instead of putting anything else on hold, I'm putting the Harry Potter on hold to make sure I read at least one or two of the books that I have not yet read before I go back and reread Harry Potter.
Okay.
Which I fucked up on that because my sister was reading the 7th book and she left it on the table. So I thumbed through it. But whatever. Yeah, you can't really deny the impact that those books have had.
True.
The movies, kind of hit and miss.
Yeah.
Those movies had a lot to live up to that they couldn't.
Well, yeah. The biggest,
it's a lot of content.
It is, but the biggest problem I have with it, either content aside, the biggest problem I have with it is Voldemort.
Right.
Because in the best way to describe him in the books, he's a gangster. And by that I mean he's not a dumb thug. He's very he's what's the best way to put it? He's Michael Corleone. You know, he speaks very softly. You know, just gives looks to his people. They take care of business. Like the whole thing is Voldemort whispers, and he walks casually, calmly. Ralph Fiennes, I love him as an actor, but in the whole film, he's like, man, he's just like jumping around like a fucking
his
he took
Voldemort
too much.
is very animated.
It's too animated. That's why I don't like it, and that's why like the last 3 films are kind of like, man.
You know, it's funny.
Huh.
I read Harry Potter, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Harry Potter." You know, they talk about like their favorite houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And whenever someone goes, "What house are you?" I'm like, "Well, I guess Slytherin," but really, I'd be a Death Eater.
That's not a house.
No, I just really liked Voldemort. Like, he was such a cool villain. They built him up, and I loved what he was about.
Fascism and genocide.
Okay, not necessarily.
That's what he's about.
Well, okay, more or less.
Good.
I'm talking about more about like how he falls into being Voldemort,
right?
And how he starts looking for, basically he wants to become immortal, and the way he looks for it, like through the Horcruxes and stuff. I was like, that's actually really fucking smart.
Well, yeah, but it's also kind of the same thing with the dark side in Star Wars. Black magic or the dark side of the Force is the same thing, where it's like, don't do that because that fucks with nature, and nature shouldn't be messed with because it screws up the order of things. And that's why Voldemort looks the way he looks, because he fucked things up for himself. Heroin addict or drug addict. That's what he did. That's why he looks the way he looks. That's why it's not good. And the fact that you are rooting for Voldemort is kind of messed up, Shane.
Well, I mean, so the thing is like, obviously don't want to
Shane
win.
is rooting for the allegory of Hitler. That's interesting.
All right, Shane, I support your logic. This sounds great. Kill them all.
Well, I like villains. I like Darth Vader, and Darth Vader was like my ideology until I realized he blew up an entire planet for a while.
Well, hey now. He didn't blow it up. A space station fired a beam that happened to intersect with the planet, and a lot of people died. It's not him. He didn't do it. They got in the way.
You should look up the subreddit "The Empire Did Nothing Wrong."
That sounds awesome.
Look up that subreddit. "The Empire Did Nothing Wrong." It's pretty fucking hilarious.
It's great.
Yeah. The difference between Voldemort and Darth Vader is
Miles.
It's Miles, and Darth Vader is cool, and he has the voice and the attitude.
Well, Darth Vader is still human underneath that shell.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say this about the one thing I never got about Voldemort.
Yeah.
Was how he could not let his grudge about Harry Potter go. Like he was winning, and I was just like, dude, you're so many points ahead. Trying to pick off this one kid is not helping you.
Well, because he knew Harry Potter could beat him. Like, it doesn't matter how far he was ahead. Like, Harry could come back in 10 or 20 or 50 years and still beat him. That's why he was afraid. That was the point of it.
Yeah, and then, of course, like you said, we got the overmated yelling at the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2. Yeah!
Yeah, that final fight is not a fight at all in the books. It's basically Harry taunting Voldemort and telling him exactly how he fucked up. And instead in the movie, we just get this flying around thing. I don't know.
It looked cool.
It wasn't. It looked cool to you? It looked shitty to me. Whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. That happened. And everything else happened. Guess we should wrap up.
Probably.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, thank you for listening. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe on iTunes. If it's YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on the Facebook page, drop a comment, maybe share.
Yes, please.
Yeah, please do the sharing and everything. Yeah.
All right, guys.
We're out.
We will chat with you later.
Yeah. Peace.
Deuces.
Later days.